In the astrology of January 25th, we have a very special aspect today, which of course is one that revolves around Poseidon. We have Mars in Capricorn in a sextile with Scorpio Poseidon. What's so interesting about this aspect is that it kind of challenges us in a unique way, where one of the most universal predictors of a person's character, like especially, someone that you think very highly of, someone that you think has a great moral character, is someone who's willing to go the extra mile. And not only are they willing to, but that's almost like their way. And it's going the extra mile specifically when they don't have to, or when no one's watching. So there's a lot of this energy today where essentially we're told, hey, you can relax for a second, but there is this really great opportunity to go the extra mile on something. And it will oftentimes require perseverance, patience with your own or other people's character, or essentially a little bit of bravery or a little bit of faith in what you're going to do next. So, for example, starting off with Scorpio. For Scorpio, you might be in a place today where you feel as though you have recently been trying to express yourself a bit more, to communicate what it is that you really feel, what it is that you really think, what you want to do. Maybe you've been hit with some backlash or abrasion from other people who have a very different standpoint, especially if these are the people for you, Scorpio, who you rely on the most, or that you feel very connected to, you feel very loyal to. For Libra today, this energy is going to be a little bit different. This is kind of like taking the point of view of how is it, essentially like how can you go the extra mile to do for others when you yourself feel like you're very, very low on fuel right now. And that can be a really tricky thing to do, especially to do in a balanced way, which is what you prefer. But there's one thing to remember, which is that little things have more of an impact than they seem on the surface. You might think to yourself almost like, I'm so tired, I don't know if I want to do this extra thing for this person, I don't know if I want to put in this extra effort, because I just feel like that will completely bankrupt me of my energy. And so an important thing to do is to remember, though, that sometimes just listening to someone, just showing up for them, can be a really powerful manifestation of that. So for Virgo, for you guys it's a little bit different, but essentially today you will kind of be in this place where you've been communicating what it is that you desired for quite a while, what you desire from other people. Maybe that you've been, let's just say you're in a long-term relationship, things have been in a rut for a long time, and you want to go out on a date, or you want to go do something fun. And now today, this person is attempting to meet one of those needs, or they're trying to meet you in that place, but you're almost in a position where you feel like you're over it, or that you basically are giving up, or that it might not even be fun at this point. So your version of going the extra mile might actually be to have some fun, or to try and meet this person in their spirit with where they're attempting to meet you. Or Leo today, this energy is going to be, it's going to be a really interesting vibration for you guys. Essentially, you might feel as though you need to go the extra mile in being a supporter to other people, and that you kind of feel like you've been in this role, though, for a little bit too long. And so maybe today's the last day that someone's asking you to look after their children for them, to babysit for them or something. Or maybe today's a day where someone's asking you to do extra hours at work, but you kind of feel like, I've been doing this and I don't feel rewarded for it. And now's kind of a time where it's like, if you show up this one last time, you don't have to. That's the whole thing with the sextiles. You don't have to do anything. You can just chill. It's just that if you go that extra mile today, it will make a massive impact on the miniature collective of your family, your friends, your coworkers, and your community. So it might not ever seem that important, but sometimes the little things really can be. For Cancer today, this energy is going to be about it can manifest as partnerships in business, but most times this is going to manifest today as relationships, specifically romantic relationships. If you're not in one, then this might be about getting back out there. This might be like a time where you feel like you've given up on the opposite sex. You feel like you've given up on attempting to make some connection work. Today's a day where it's important to take a chance. And if you're already in a relationship, then this is going to be about seeing how someone's attempting to meet your needs or be romantic in some way, and validating that they're putting that forward, because sometimes we get caught in these cycles where it's so difficult to even notice that those things are really changing, or that the person is at least trying. For Gemini today, this energy is very interesting. For you guys, this is going to be essentially going the extra mile in believing in yourself, but not in the ninth house way. This is more so trusting your instincts after you feel your instincts must have been wrong. Almost as if your instincts was saying, you know, reach out to this person, reach out, or trust this person, or don't trust this person. And you've been kind of ignoring that. Today is a day where it's very important to trust those instincts very implicitly. Once again, we don't always get to see what's under the iceberg. Sometimes we literally just get in life. Most of life is really seeing the top of the iceberg on a lot of things, and just having a few areas where we finally get to see kind of the grand reveal of what's going on underneath the water. And for Taurus today, this energy is very much about placing your faith in the people that you're coupled with, whether this is relationship or business partnership. This is oftentimes after a long history of people letting you down, or not showing up, not having faith in you. This is a moment where it's like you get to lead by example, where you get to be the change you wish to see in the world. And so it's a really powerful thing for you guys. And once again, Mars sextile Poseidon is an aspect that probably no one's even going to talk about, because it doesn't seem that important. But the reality is that there's so much greatness that can come from such a small moment and such a small change in our life. For Aries today, this energy is much different. This is very intense for you guys. Even if it is in the form of a small moment, this actually has really big ramifications as far as what's coming next in the next few months of your life. And so whether or not it actually manifests as a decision you have to make, there's some little thing that you do today that's going to that can really have a positive impact on things. Your ruler, Mars, being in a sextile with Poseidon means in a way that your core essence is in a sextile with, you know, this planet of enlightenment and overcoming the darkness, which can be really difficult. So basically this is like breaking cycles, but it's specifically breaking one that you're setting in place a new cycle that's even better at the same time that you're dealing with that. So that's a lot emotionally for anyone to deal with. But this is basically something like, no, I actually am strong. I actually am smart. I actually am someone who can overcome this great obstacle that I have before me. And for Pisces today, you know, it's pretty interesting, because for you guys, you have such an interesting mix of what's going on in your 9th house and your 11th house, that it's about really allowing yourself to be a part of other people's quests today, and allowing other people to kind of show up for you and yours. I mean, if you feel as though you've been in a very hermetic phase, now's the time to reach out to other people, or when they reach out to you, to really respond to them and meet them in the energy that they're attempting to bring your way. For Aquarius, in many ways, today is putting a stop to a dark cycle, putting a stop to a spiraling pattern that you might find yourself very susceptible to. And this can be, whether it be drug addiction, this can be alcoholism, this could be even just a way of being. I mean, even something as silly as maybe like, you know, a shopping addiction, or a dating addiction, when you don't feel like your needs are being met, you know, personally, and just like almost using other people for that. So it's going to be some pretty heavy stuff, but really it's going the extra mile to absolutely say unequivocally no on something that you know you don't want to do, because even though it's so small, you know that this spiral could really turn into something pretty negative if it was left unchecked. And for Capricorn, for example, you guys have a lot of intensity that's happening here too. For you guys, of course, this is happening where this is about really getting some people to rally behind you in a way that you might feel very timid to actually ask. You might feel as though like normally you don't want to ask for a certain kind of help, and today's a day where you are kind of called to do that. So whether or not it feels comfortable, it's incredibly important. And for Sagittarius today, sort of similar to what Capricorn and Aquarius are going through, this is about putting a stop to something and basically stopping this cycle that's already going, you know, stopping some part of your life that has been revolving and revolving, and it feels like it's gotten out of control and it's been snowballing. putting a stop to it, leading to basically a break in the clouds, and the sunlight melting this snowball down, and just feeling a little bit of the joy that we can experience when we're willing to let go of a pattern internally. And it's not so much something you'll actually have to do necessarily, but it's kind of a way of being that you engage with. So it's very intense today, very beautiful, but very intense. And I hope that this has helped you guys out. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.